Yo, what's going on everyone? Zeus the DJ back with another unboxing video, and today I have the Revolution Pro controller version 2 by Nacon, and this is an officially licensed product from PlayStation.
DJ ZEUS.
Let's go ahead and open this up. I really was impressed with their unboxing experience when I opened this for the very first time. I received this on Saturday. Today is now Monday, and I did have 2 days to play with this, so I will give you guys some feedback in regards to that. But stay tuned, make sure that you hit subscribe and click on the notifications. Turn those notifications on so you will be notified when I do a final review of this product. But like I said, I've only been using it for 2 days, so I cannot do an honest review of this because I haven't used it long enough. But looking at the box itself, it's got that matte color with the glossed snake type logo, and it is magnetic, which I thought was a good touch. It didn't have to be, but they made it, and I like it. Right here, Revolution Pro Controller 2. You remove this and you are greeted by your new Revolution Pro. And I gotta say, I do like this controller a lot so far. This has an Xbox style layout, so whereas your analog stick on the left is where the D-pad is, and your D-pad is where the analog stick should be for PS4. Not sure why some companies are doing this, but after playing with it, I feel like it's just a little more natural to be up here than down here, as I've been used to playing PS4. I don't have an Xbox, I've never had an Xbox, but for me, I like this layout. Your left analog stick is actually concaved, and your right analog stick is actually convex with the little snake logo just like on the front of your box. That's a pretty cool little touch right there. I do wish it was a little more grippier in comparison to the Scuff Vantage that I had for 2 weeks, and a little bit bigger because this feels a little bit smaller. This one, the right one, feels like a perfect size. It's wide enough. This one is obviously a little bit smaller, so my thumb fits in there perfectly. I do have fat fingers, but I do wish it was a little bit bigger. I wish it was more grippy. Now, coming to the bottom of the controller, you can see you have your headphone jack. These buttons are a lot bigger than the PS4 buttons. I think their buttons are probably as big as this home button. If not, maybe a little bit bigger, but definitely smaller than these ones. You have your share button, your option button, your D-pad. Not entirely sure if this works touch-wise, as far as, you know, when you're typing a message, you can swipe through your letters and stuff, so I have to test that out. Now back here you have the USB Type-C port, and I do like that it goes in and it's indented in there. And I'll show you when I plug the cable in. Just keeps it in there nice and snug, and you don't have to worry about it, you know, going up or down, just like the PS4 DualShock controller. And what I really like about it is that you can actually set it on your table like this with the cable in there and not have to worry about any strain being put on that cable. Unlike the DualShock 4, when you plug it in, because the port is down here, when you plug it in like this, the cable goes up or down, and it just, over time, that USB, that micro USB port ends up going out on the PS4 controllers. Now looking at the buttons on the top, you have your L1, your R1, your L2, and your R2, and they are slanted. They're not on top like the DualShock 4, which is fine for me because the way your hand kind of sits on the controller, your fingers are going up at an angle anyways, so why not have it be angled? But if you're not into that, you can also use the very tips of the L1 and the R1 to click down, or your fingers can go out here, or your fingers could just rest on it naturally and press that way. L2 and R2 are slanted outward a little bit, but it's fine. It fits, you know, the way your hand is actually on the controller. It's perfect, and there's not a whole lot of travel. I mean, there's probably about as much as the DualShock 4. Now I know on the Vantage that I had, it had the trigger stops, so you can only do like quick fire things and this unfortunately doesn't have it, but there's ways around it within the software, and I will explain that later on. On the bottom you have your M1, M2, M3, and M4 buttons. It just looks like 2 buttons, which is perfect because the way your hand actually sits with holding the controller, your middle finger or your ring finger, depending on how you know, if you use 2 fingers up top, then your ring finger would probably be the one that's on there. If you only use 1 finger on top, then your middle finger will fit in there perfectly, and it's just the ergonomics of this control. You know, I'm really impressed with. For $130 versus $200 for the SCUF Vantage, $70 cheaper, is definitely a go. Now the ability to customize this is obviously not there because you have the controller, and that's pretty much it. There's no customizing the colors. I think they do come in other color options, but as far as, you know, adding, you know, different toggles, higher, lower, or medium or regular size, whatever, convex, concaved, and stuff like that. I don't think Nacon actually offers any customizability to this controller, which is kind of a downfall. But I mean, for $130 versus $200 for the SCUF Vantage, for me, this is the better choice. Now, this is obviously off of only 2 days of use. I will be doing a full review for this, so make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the notifications so you will be notified when that video goes live. But I do want to play around with this a little bit more and actually play with this on PC and see what the programming of that looks like. Also, on the back side, you have your mode buttons, or your mode switch. So you have 1 mode, 2 mode, and PC mode. And over here you have your profile button, and your profile lights actually light up here underneath the share button and the options button. So you have 2 lights under the share button, 2 lights under the option button, and depending on what profile you have, they will light up under there. You do have a glowing ring around the right analog stick, which is cool, and depending on what mode you have it in, mode 1 will be a blue ring, and mode 2 will be a red ring around the analog stick, which I think is cool. And then this light kind of just stays one color. In the box, we'll go ahead and open this up. We're greeted with a nice little box under here, and inside this box we have our different weights. So you have your 10-gram weights, and that's these little dumbbell looking guys. You have your 17-gram weights, and then you have 14-gram weights, which also look like little dumbbells, but obviously thicker than the other ones. So that's really cool. And then you also have this key with the nice little Nacon snake logo and this little thing, so you can put this on your keychain so you don't lose it. And what this does is, on the bottom you have your left and right areas here. You just twist it to the right, pull this out, and now you can add weights. So for me, I like having the bigger ones on there. So I have the 17-gram and the 14-gram together. You just put that in there like so, twist that on, and boom, you now have a heavier weighted controller. And you can go ahead and do so for both sides, which I thought was a pretty cool option. If you like a lighter controller, you can take all the weights out and have it that way. For me, I like feeling like I paid $130 for something that feels nice, sturdy, and solid, and that's how I roll. So with that aside, you also have your USB Type-C cable, and I believe this is a 3-meter long cable, so about 9 to 10 feet. I know 3 meters is 9 feet, but I'm not sure if this is 3 feet or 9 feet. And it is braided, and you got that nice Nacon logo on here as well, and it is USB Type-C. Now, going back to what I said about charging this controller, or not charging it because it only works wired, is when you have it plugged in like that, you can leave it on your desk like that and not have to worry about this cable having any kind of pressure put onto it. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Like right here, it's fine. It's just straight out. On the DualShock 4, when you plug it in and you put your controller on the table, you'll see that there's a lot of tension on that USB cable. On here, that's not the case, so really love that. Also inside the box, you get your owner's manual along with some stickers. Oh, I just noticed that there were stickers. And then you have important, you know, it tells you not to wrap your controller like this. That's always a bad thing because, like I said, that puts pressure on the cable and that could end up messing up your port, like I said. But because it's indented in there, this actually has to travel in a good amount before it actually clicks in there, and that's not really going anywhere, so I really like that. But just never store your controller like that. It's always a bad idea. And then also in this bag you have a little drawstring carrying pouch. I wish they would have added a hard case, because if you're putting this in your backpack or something like that, like, yeah, it prevents you from getting scratched, but it's depending on what's in your backpack, it could put a lot of stress on your toggles and on the buttons and things of that sort, maybe your triggers, and over time that can kind of mess things up. But it is cool that they gave you a little drawstring bag, and it's got the cool Nacon logo, and you have a little zipper bag right here, and I'm assuming that would be for like either your key so you don't lose that, and then your 2 remaining or all of your weights if you don't have those in there. And then also you have a Revolution Pro controller cleaning cloth, which I probably should have used to clean it, because you can see some of my fingerprints and stuff like that from using it the last 2 days. And it works really well actually, until I touch that part again. This has been the unboxing. I like it so far. Using it for 2 days, I really enjoy using this over the Scuf Vantage, which I ended up returning, like I said. My cousin, the Lycan, actually has the Scuf Infinity Pro for PS4. I will be doing a comparison between this controller and his controller, and then I will be doing a full review of this controller, so make sure to go ahead and hit subscribe. Click on those notifications so you'll be notified when those videos go live. Also, still banned from streaming on YouTube, so make sure to go ahead and follow me on Twitch. Link for that will be in the description below. If you guys want to watch my live streams and my gameplay, help support me there on the Twitch platform. I greatly appreciate it. There you guys have it. Till next time, DJ ZEUS, and I'm out.